grade 3, motion is really cool because a lot of times we can find patterns in motions. Today, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about patterns of motion. Have you ever been out on the playground playing with your friends on the swing and maybe you are pushing them back and forth and back and forth? Well, when you push your friend on the swing, you know that every single time they're going to come back. And that's a pattern because you know what will happen next once you do something. I drew an example of the same thing I just talked about, the back and forth motion on a swing. And it's obviously very beautiful. But this is a girl on a swing and she is going back and forth and back and forth. And we know that if she is up here, the next part of the pattern is she will go to the front again. So motion often comes in patterns like we see on the swing. We also see another pattern. These are just two of them. There's many other patterns that you can read about when you read the reading portion of your seesaw activity. But this is up and down motion. We see this pattern a lot. The example I am using is on a seesaw or a teeter-totter when you go up and down, up and down. Right now, this girl is up, but the next step of her motion is to go down. Teeter-totters go up and down, and that's just a pattern that they follow. But there is always some kind of rest in a pattern of motion. And it might be just for a second, but there is always rest in motion, such as when they go up and down or back and forth. For example, I see that when this girl is going back and forth, she is going to rest. And you might think, Miss Amanda, how can she rest in the middle of the air? It is just for not even a second. For a split second, she stops moving and she rests. This always happens when they are at the very highest point of their movement. So when she is here, when she swings all the way out to here, and when she swings all the way back to here, that is where she rests. Okay? Same for up and down. At the highest point of motion, that is when they rest. And on a seesaw or a teeter-totter, it might actually be for a longer period of time if your friend is making you stay up high. But the period of rest is up top. You are resting up here, and you are also resting down here. Now, when I say rest, it doesn't mean like, oh, I'm going to take a break, I'm going to take a little nap. It just means you stop moving for a second or not even a second. It's just you quickly stop moving before you begin moving again. Sometimes we feel that when we're on the swing. We go out and we go all the way up and it feels like you just stopped and then you go back and forth. Patterns of motion. So today, in your seesaw activity, you are going to first read more information or listen to more information about patterns of motion. Then, in your activity, you are going to look at two different types of carnival rides. The first one shows back and forth motion. You will need to draw arrows to show the direction the object is moving in. What pattern are they following? You will also need to circle the areas where the object is at rest. So, please refer to my example of back and forth for help. I have drawn my picture. You will already have your picture. I've drawn my arrows to show which way the motion is going, the pattern of motion. And I have drawn my arrows of where my object is resting. Same for my up and down. I have drawn my arrows to show which way the pattern of motion is going, and I have drawn where my object is resting. That is what you will need to do for your activity today.